Hello, everybody. Welcome on our YouTube channel, Mom Stronger Together. And today we are going to share with you one part of our personal experience, which is related to our spiritual awakening. And I'm going to interview Natalya today. And Natalya, hi, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling very well. Hello. It's been a very good day. It's been gorgeous here, an amazing weather. It just gives me so much energy. So it's great.
Yeah, yeah, I can totally resonate with that. Here is the same wonderful shiny weather. And I wanted to ask you about your how did the spiritual awakening happen in your life? Was it something? Yeah, just tell us how it was because different people have different stories. I'm curious to find out about your story. And I want to mention that it is a privilege and honor to talk to people on this topic. I feel so blessed. Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you. It's my privilege to be interviewed by you on this topic because this topic is very, very dear to my heart. Very dear because um, the way, spiritual awakening is a process, it's, for me, it's very individual process. And before I start talking to this, maybe I should say that I'm also just like many people in this world. I was baptized in a Catholic church, and it is pretty much a tradition in my family. However, religion has nothing to do with my spiritual journey. Nothing. Yeah. So, and there is a very good reason for that. For me, the way it all started was about 12 years ago when I started practicing yoga. But I looked at yoga back then as a physical exercise. I used to have like a mild scoliosis, and because I was sitting a lot at the university and in the office, I had an awful, like a lot of pain in my back. And somebody suggested, why don't you do yoga? And I said, okay, let me try. And this is how I started. And then I always make this joke, yoga is so sneaky in a positive way that you don't even notice how it starts impacting your life in a physical way, but also in the mental and emotional way. It literally changed my life within a couple of months. My body was in a good order. I didn't feel so much pain anymore. And then I realized that it had a really positive impact on my emotional being. I was just a lot more balanced. Yeah, I was relaxed. I was looking forward to my next practice. And I did not link my yoga practice to spirituality back then at all. I just thought this is an ancient tradition, this is what people used to do, and this is all great. But at some point, what happens with many, many, many people who practice yoga regularly, they say, look, I want to know more. What is it? What is it all about meditation and Ayurveda, whatever it is. So I started researching and I started doing a lot more. And my guru back then said, um, do yoga every day, a little bit, and see how it feels. So I started literally from practicing just once or twice a week. I was practicing nearly every day. And this is when it actually kind of speeded up for me in terms of spiritual um, awakening back then, not so much, but that was more about my spiritual knowledge. Yeah, I was asking specific questions about yoga, what it was, how it developed, and what of an impact it used to have back then, in the Vedic culture. And I decided to do a yoga training, which I did over 1 year, and I became a yoga instructor. And it's very funny, not with the aim to teach. I wanted to know more, and I thought that will be a very good place to learn. And as it happened, and this is what my guru back then said, she said, it's funny, most of people come and say they don't want to teach yoga, uh, but then they just end up teaching. Yeah. And I was laughing. I said, no, it's not going to happen to me because I have my corporate career. I'm happy there. I just really wanted to deepen my knowledge about that. And then as it happened, I was approached by a friend of mine. She said, my yoga teacher is leaving for India, and who knows when she's going to be back. Would you like to take over her classes? And it was just around the corner when I was leaving. And I said, yes, why not? I was like, wow, that's interesting. I wasn't really looking for that, but that kept me in touch with my community. And I started teaching, and I just realized how much value, even me, just a starting yoga instructor, with not much knowledge, but how much value I could share already with my community, and also how much responsibility it actually was. I never saw this as a responsibility when I was a student. When you have a group of people who rely on your knowledge, and not only a yoga, whatever meditation knowledge, you need to understand their anatomy and all this, and certain conditions of the body to be able to guide a class. Anyway, this aside, that kind of also, this is like a puzzle, like when I look back now, I see those are little puzzles that happened in my life that led me to where I am right now. Yeah. So I'm not teaching yoga now, and there is one good reason for that. I absolutely love yoga practice, and I go to yoga classes, and I go to workshops, and I continuously, evolve as a yogi. Let's say that. My spiritual journey now, for the last year, completely kind of accelerated, and that was because. First of all, it has to do with the evolution of our planet. Our planet already transitioned to higher vibrations. It's already there. So, and that happened in the last couple of years. And this is, I think, this is when I felt, and this is what yoga is teaching you, to be mindful to your body, and to be attentive to your body, to listen to your body. Yeah. If I didn't have this experience with yoga, I probably would have ignored the signs in my body as of what was happening. Yeah. So I've noticed that for the last maybe 2.5 years, there is a major shift going on. And I felt this in my body. And I started asking myself, I started researching what is happening. And this is the whole thing about the shift and also our perception. So what happens, the planet is evolving on a very conscious level. Like if we look at our consciousness, it's nothing tangible. It's something that you kind of need to practice to understand what it is. And the planet has its own evolution. It's already transitioned, and we are still kind of on lower vibration. So we need to catch up with it. Yeah. And that takes time. And that, because we are grounded, because we are physical bodies and we are heavy, we need to catch up with the planet in a way that sometimes it is painful. Yeah. And it can happen in many different ways. It can happen in a form of a disease or illness, or it can happen in a way that your consciousness is continuously telling you, you, like in my specific case, I still was having my corporate career, but my consciousness will not leave me alone. It just continuously kind of, I will be asking myself the question, what is good I'm contributing to this planet? I'm not really doing anything. I don't think this is the right place for me. I think I need to do something else. I need to do certain things. And they just did not leave me alone until I really took this step, and I left my job. And obviously I had to find another plan. I had to find another plan to to make money, to bring an income. And this is when I found the six-figure mentors, and I decided that I wanted to take my own decisions. I wanted to take control over my financial independence. And this is how it all happened. Again, it did not happen just out of coincidence. I felt literally put to the edge by my consciousness telling me, do something useful out of your life. I could have remained in my corporate job. Nobody was asking me to leave or whatever, and it was a safe job. But I knew that was not the right thing to do to continue. And I think in my personal case, this is very individual, all this spiritual journey. In my case, that was the case where I was catching up with the vibrations that happened already on the planet. I needed to develop higher, consciousness and higher, value for myself to catch up with all of this. This is how it happens. This is my case. For some other people, it might be some sort of a disease telling you now you have to hold on. What are you doing? Think about it. Change your life, adjust. And I'm so convinced about that this is what's happening right now to our countries with the pandemic is another sign of the planet to say, now you hold back, because this is happening now you as humanity you need to catch up with the vibrations that are happening on the planet. And this only will happen if we are positive about this, and if we are embracing it, and not seeing this as a danger, as a threat. Everything that happens comes from our Creator, everything. And who are we to question this? Who are we to judge this? Who are we to be negative about things that are given to you, most likely to protect you from something even worse? So this is how I see that. So my spiritual journey I think it's pretty straightforward. It started 12 years ago. I can pinpoint that because it started not when I was baptized. It was when I was a child. It started 12 years ago when I was an adult, consciously taking my decisions, consciously researching, and consciously really feeling this calling for knowing more about ourselves, who we truly are, why we are here, and what is the purpose of all of this happening. And maybe to add on to this, about a year ago, I went really, really deep into spirituality. And in my meditations for about a year or so, I was asking for a guru. I just felt I don't have a teacher in my life who will guide me in a more kind of a methodical way. And then she appeared in my life. The lady is called Dolores Cannon. She passed away a few years ago, but I've been learning from her videos and her teachings. And this amazing lady was doing basically a channeling, and she created a therapy that's called quantum healing therapy, which is basically a past life regression, but with the aim to heal certain things within us. And I went to see one of her students, and we had a past life regression with her, and that was probably the most amazing experience I've ever had, because that again opened a portal in myself, and the kind of my brain. It's very interesting because we live on the planet of a free will. There is love. You cannot force to love, right? This you cannot do. I mean, it's not going to work. So and this is where our brain and our heart need to agree. If you feel something with your heart, but your brain is telling you, oh no, it's too the brain is rational. The brain wants to survive. And if those two are not working together, it's incredibly difficult to evolve as a spiritual being. It's really tough. And I think with the regression therapy, or shortly before, this is for me when it started kind of fusing together, when my brain kind of accepted this, what heart was telling, and that became one. And this is when my spiritual journey accelerated. This is when I, seeing myself in previous lives, and what happened to me, and what kind of patterns I'm still carrying in this life, where I just got in touch with my higher consciousness, and I realized this is a all-loving force. This is an energy that is here to protect you at all times. You want it or not, it doesn't matter. It's here. And what we decide to open in our brain, in our heart, and how we want to do this. It's up to us. So once you find this way, once you connect your brain to your heart, and then you kind of open up everything you have inside you towards the only creator that we have, everything starts making sense. Everything. You get all your questions answered. Why you are here, what is your purpose, why you're doing what you're doing, how it affects other people. And we very often think, the way I behave does not affect the planet. That's not true. Everything you do affects the planet, every single thing. And the good news is as well, there are darker forces, but because we are now we've passed the transition, and because we are here talking about spirituality, and there's so much information now accessible for everyone. You just need to open up your mind, and you just need to listen and to learn. And then you will realize that the light actually has won. We are actually living in the light. We are amazing beings, and we are always being loved, always, at all times. This is like, the analogy I always say, before I had my child, and when I was asking parents already, who were my friends who were parents, they were just saying me things. Oh yeah, it will be this and it will be this. But you will never know once you have your own child what it actually is. You will never know. Yeah. So you need to go through this to understand. So I can talk about it for hours, but once you go through this yourself, then you understand that this is a major, probably the most important evolution of a human being. And I'm so grateful to be living in exactly these times right now. Because if I look back when I was a child, I look back at my parents or my grandparents, the times were very, very different. The information available back then was so minimal. It was just simply not there. So understanding now and knowing where to find the information about who we are, the knowledge about everything that surrounds us, is so valuable to me. And I think alone the fact that we're living in these times, I think that's a proof to us that Creator just absolutely loves us. It's just here, all around us. That's it.
Yeah.
That's basically, in a nutshell, what happened to me over the last 12 years.
Wow, that's amazing. That's a lot. And I spot some ideas here, which I can go back. I want to say that when I started my actually, I was always, since I remember myself, questioning who I am, what's the meaning of my life, and what is the God's willing regarding my life. So that was 3 questions which were leading me in life. And having this, like a star somewhere, I was going to reach to that star, like a polar star. And that led me to different journeys and confessions, philosophies, and searching inside work. And I want to mention about a yoga experience which I had. My hatha yoga, which you begin with doing physical exercises, I used to follow Swami Shivananda. We bought books and we were practicing at home. He also has knowledges about Ayurveda in those books. But this is at a physical level. At spiritual level, or soul and mind level, we used to practice integral yoga of Sri Aurobindo and Vamava and Sri Chinmoy. So you can't make a separation. And what is the translation of yoga from Hindu? It is a connection with God.
Yeah.
Yes. It's wonderful. And about sharing with people, I had all these experiences and practices, but I didn't feel I'm ready to share that with people. I thought I still have to go a long journey, a long path till I will be ready to share with the world what I experienced and what bring me to a state of happiness and peace in my soul and in my mind.
Yeah.
How it was for you? Did you feel that you are ready to share with people your knowledges and experience?
The thing is, I understand that all of us are different levels of spiritual journey, and my approach is, if I'm not asked for an opinion, I probably am not going to share that. This is just my approach, and this is not because I'm afraid that other people will create a certain opinion about me. I mean, that I completely let go of this. I am not worried about other opinions of other people about me. And it's not about believing in God. I know it. This is the difference. I know it, and there's something inside me telling me, if I share information with somebody, I do it. I do it. Just to answer your question, I do. If I find an information useful, I always ask inside myself, do you think this information might be useful for this, and this person? Where I have a feeling, they might find it useful. If the answer is yes, I share it. Yeah, but I'm never kind of trying to impose anything, or say, okay, you have to know it, or you have to whatever, because I understand everybody has an individual journey. Yeah, absolutely. This is the thing, this is how we need to see the creator. um, it created all of this, not like a corporate company or organization where there are certain standards and people need to be at this level by end of the year. It's not like this. Yeah, it's very, very individual. And even in my own relationship with my husband, we are at different levels of spirituality right now. And he's also very, very spiritual, but he's very influenced by Catholicism, and he has his own ideas and his own, opinions about things, which is perfectly fine. They are not wrong or right. It's not about that. It's about his journey. Yeah. And sometimes we talk about, my journey, sometimes we talk about his journey, but there is no such thing that I will say what I think is the right thing, or you know what, you should go in and have a past life regression because it's going to help you. No, 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 no. I know for a fact that lots of people are afraid of that, and that just and that's fine. This is a valid feeling. It's just simply means that maybe at this stage you're not ready. You just, or you're not open. Let's say not ready, but you're not open at this stage. Maybe you will never be. Maybe you will never need it because your spiritual journey is somewhere else. You might just respond to a certain meditation in this specific way. So we are all very individual. Even though we are part of one, we're all very kind of different, how we perceive things. And sharing, I'm always keen to share, of course, but again, I will prefer to plant the seed of sharing with somebody where I know it will make sense, it will help, and maybe it will make a difference. Yeah, I share some information with my mother, and I know if she's not giving me any feedback, that's probably something that she is not comfortable with. And then I know that's fine. So next time I'll probably find something less, or something different for her where she will respond in a better way. So again, I appreciate though when my friends share things with me. And there is a good story I always tell to my friends. I have a very good friend who's very, very spiritual and very, very advanced. And when we met about maybe 7 years ago, he back then he already was very spiritual, and he mentioned something to me about aliens living within us and other civilizations. And I just looked at him, and I just like, I was so not ready for this information. I didn't know anything about this back then. And I just looked at him, and I said, you know, if you don't, this is what I said, is that if you don't want me to think that you're crazy, don't tell me these things, because I'm not ready for that. I don't even know what you say. Honestly, I will just look at you and say, you watch too many Star Wars or something. But now we can have a perfectly nice, fine conversation with my friend, because yes, I did catch up with him somehow. But although I was not ready back then, he made me curious, you know. He made me very curious, and then I cannot say that I started researching, aliens or whatever. But next time when I heard from my guru talking about this, I already was prepared, and I did not deny my guru, because that would have happened if I didn't meet my friend back then, and if he didn't mention to me something about civilizations, I probably would have rejected my guru like about a few months later. You know what I mean? So, and that way I was already prepared, and when my guru mentioned that, I was open. I was said, okay, I've heard that before, so let me continue listening to what you say. Everything makes sense. And if we are attentive to ourselves and to our surrounding, you will see how it all is made for you to follow a specific path. Yeah, you just need to be attentive, yeah, and mindful. That's all you need to do. Listen to your body, listen to your feelings, accept the feelings, and just look around you. Good.
Yes, wonderful that you mentioned about that, because nowadays we have, as you mentioned, we have this change on the planet when people are ready to hear this information about spirituality. And I was reflecting about that many years ago, and I thought that people will find me crazy if I will open up and share with them my internal experience. And I was very selective with the people who I can open up about my spiritual journey and practice and experience. And thank you for sharing that. Actually, one of the goals of these discussions is to talk to people and make a space for people, especially women, maybe because we are a group of moms, to open up themselves and trust that if they have some spiritual practices or experiences or awakening, we are here in this space to share with them, and they can share with us. They are very welcome. And by doing that, I think we have a major impact on our society nowadays, because it is time to go out from that space of fear, which was imposed by different religious and philosophies, and we were limited in a certain degree to explore our essential being, who we are, because we were conditioned by what specific religious or authorities were telling us to feel or to believe.
Yeah.
And this is religion, but when you are awakening about your life and you are conscious about your thoughts and feelings, emotions, and relationships with people, then you get that sense of freedom, and this is the spiritual life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And I
Absolutely.
think I think we have each and every one of us, we have that call to freedom, to express ourselves as we are, because when you don't know your true essence, who you are, you live in a confusion, in a darkness, and in a space where you are not happy. You're full of fear and uncertainty. But
Yes.
when you start going through life with this awareness, then you can feel that sense of freedom and confidence in yourself that I was experiencing, I think, the last couple of years, and that changed my life tremendously. How it was for you, Natalia? Did you feel that any specific change in your quality of your life? Because it
Yes.
changes the quality of your life actually tremendously. Now you can um, question the all the values and principles and say, oh, maybe why shall I behave that way, or why shall I do what I was told to do or taught to do my parents and teachers at school, because and you stop judging them because they were conditioned to behave that way.
Yes.
But now
Yes.
everything is changed and we have this freedom to create the life we want and
Yes.
feel that meaning and purpose in life.
Yes. Exactly. I mean, I totally agree with you. I think because we live in physical bodies, we have our needs. Yeah. Um, and most of our needs are linked to the survival. Um, Maybe not survival in this very kind of barbaric ways, but survival of let let's be whatever straightforward. We need to have a job, we need to make sure that we have a house to live in, clothes, we have children, we need to make sure that they're cared for and things like that. And very often we are in a state of survival. We are fighting. Yeah, we are fighting in the company, in the job. We are fighting for the job. We're fighting to get the job. We're fighting to get to the job every day. It's like a continuous state of surviving. Yeah. On the other hand, we have our creator who created us honestly with one purpose only, for us to be happy. Yeah. So how do you balance both of this? How do you let yourself give yourself into the creator, to the all divine around you, to make sure that you still survive? The thing is, both those things, the creator and the survival mode, they are not good together, because this is so controversial. Yeah. So, and this is what when we look at the history, if we look at Jesus Christ, this is exactly what he did. He gave in himself to the divine. Yeah. There were people betraying him, and he said, it's fine. It's fine. And people looked at him and said, are you crazy? He could walk on the water, but yet he let be killed himself, you know? And so what does it teach us? Giving in, completely knowing that the creator is there for you. There is a love and trust, and this is what you are supposed to follow. But we are conditioned by our societies, by our religion, by our everything, by our schools, most of all, where we completely are being trained in the mode of survival. It's like every family, every parents tell to the children, I want you to get a good job. No, instead, you need to tell to your child, how are you with the world? How do you feel? Do you feel the divine inside you? Do you have enough trust that everything is cared for you? Once you give in into this, as you say, everything becomes easy. It's a freedom. Everything you give in, and the God will care for you. And this is truly what it is. I mean, my husband very often says, because he has a very strong background in Catholicism, he says, well, but that surely kills any type of ambition, just thinking about God caring for you and then what you're going to do. I do not entirely agree, because you always also need to keep in mind your purpose in life. So what is your purpose? Yeah. What is the purpose? Why where you born into this world, where actually it's a privilege to be incarnated as a human being. So there is a purpose for you. There is a specific mission. What are you doing here? So do you know what your purpose is? Have you found out? Do you really know that? Once you know your purpose, and then you give in into the love and the divine, and you trust the universe and our creator, this is where the true awakening starts, and this is where you finally feel complete and happy. Yeah. And understanding the purpose, this is so tough for most of people. It's like it really is tough. It's like, how can I know, as an ordinary being conditioned by this society, and now I feel like I'm a little bit on my own trying to figure out all these things. It's very simple. First of all, you can talk to spiritual teachers and ask them for an advice. They will certainly help you to figure out your purpose. You don't have to figure out things on your own. Secondly, they're just talk to yourself, talk to your angels, talk, because we are one part of a big everything. Each of us, we have so much help that we don't even think about. We are not alone here. This is the whole point of us being here. We are not alone. All our angels are reaching out to us. You just need to ask. You just need to be grateful and need to ask, and the answer will come to you. You can ask all the questions that you just, anything. It can be personal questions or relationship questions, how to deal with a certain conflict that you might have. I do it all the time. And it's a very simple trick. I go to bed at night and I have a specific thought or issue or something. And I just, before I go to bed, and just have this dialogue, and I say, well, help me to resolve this. And very often, early in the morning, I either had a dream about this, about how to resolve this, or early in the morning, if I don't remember the dream, I have a solution. And I follow this. This is very simple. There is no magic involved. There is no wonders or whatever. This is a very simple practice that we need to learn. This is what we need to teach our children. This is not separating our brain from our heart and thinking, all right, we're now, raise a perfectly rational child who knows what to do. It's not like this. We need to train first ourselves as parents, as mothers, to listen to our heart, to link it to our brain, make sure that they're working together, and then teach our children to follow the instinct and the intuition, not the instinct, follow the intuition, have this inner dialogue, given trust, and just think about the global picture, not just me. This is our conditioning, it's like, what's in it for me, if I do what's in it for me. I mean, this kind of thought should be a no-go anyway. Yeah, I mean, I think we need to move away from this kind of attitudes and approaches anyway, but it happens automatically once you just refocus on the divine and giving in and trusting and letting go. I think those things don't pop up anymore. You're kind of blending into what we call the divine in the creation. This is what I think. Yeah, but this is like, how it was for me. It's like a burden fell off of my shoulders when I realized that that my purpose is a specific purpose. I knew, like, once you know what you have to do, anything else becomes, it just disappears. Anything else that I was thinking was so important, now I look at it, it's like, it's so not important. I should not have wasted my energy on that. And but again, everything is important, whatever happened, because this is what brought me here. So once you know what to do, then it becomes very easy. Everything, you suddenly know. I don't know how it happens, I cannot explain that, but you suddenly know. There's no confusion anymore. You suddenly know what to do. every single minute of your life, every single day. It's like you're kind of in the flow. You just know what you say, you know how to react, you know what not to do. You know exactly. You're given in a situation, let's say, that might be a very, I don't know, a difficult situation, but you kind of know what's the right thing to say, to do, how to continue, and this is something that's not, for me, it's not rational. It's not my brain doing that. Pretty sure, because I know my brain. My brain will start overthinking things and question things, and just overdo continuously, but this is something. This is just like comes to you. Okay, this is what you do, and this is the right thing because you feel, because this is harmonious with everybody and with everything. Yeah. So once you are in a situation like that, then you kind of realize, yeah, there there is something out there that helps you. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, Natalia, thank you for this answer. You mentioned about the happiness that give us birth on this planet in order to reach the happy state. How do you think can we reach to this state, Natalia?
Well, I think first of all, the best thing is to start with yourself, taking time every day to, to reflect on the day and listen to your feelings and to your body, and start kind of respecting it to start with. Yeah. And this is very important. Positive thinking, even if something negative creeps in, you just think positively. But let me tell here as well, if you feel sad, for example, which is a valid feeling, I think it's all right to feel sad. It's all right. There is no point of undermining this feeling. Just ask yourself, why are you sad? Why? And keep asking this question, why, until you actually, get to the point that there is no point of being sad, because this is usually what's this exercise for. You just keep asking why, but yes, this happened, but why did that happen? Then you say, oh, maybe I did something, but why did you do that? And then it's like a circle, and then you end up in a perfectly, this is my experience, in a perfectly happy state of mind again, because you're kind of, you know, you reverse everything, and then it sounds good. And create good habits. I mean, looking after yourself and the way you look, the way you feel physically is very important. I think this affects our overall happiness, because we want to be healthy, and to be healthy we need to look after ourselves. There's a very good rule. I learned it from a coach. She said every single day do something that's a little bit uncomfortable. Yeah, it can be, running around the block, or do certain type of exercise that you don't like, but don't do it for too long, but just a little bit. But this will keep your brain and your body fit. Really, you don't have to do much. And look after the body. Very important, really look after the diet. This is a very important thing. I mean, it doesn't have to be like, you don't have to be a vegetarian or vegan or whatever. You don't have to. As I always say, it's not, if you feel like you want this, but for many people it's not an option. So, okay, look after your diet, make sure that you, don't consume too much alcohol, ideally not smoking. Just generally look after your well-being, after the physical body. And also very important, cultivate a really good relationship to yourself. Don't judge, don't punish yourself. Just remember, everything that's happening, it's happening to you, and you're in the perfectly right place right now, because this is what the creator wants you to do. Yeah, but it also will give you clues how to continue. Yeah, and then just start meditating, listening, maybe expanding a little bit the consciousness by reading a certain literature that you find that you feel attracted to, and listening to spiritual teachers. And all of this, I think, like a puzzle, it will bring you to a space of kind of into a happier place. Yeah, happier place generally. I think that could be good. This is I always share this also with anybody, because this is what I do. Yeah. I try to do on a daily basis all these things a little bit, as much as I can, because I know this contributes to my happiness. This taking a little bit of space, if you can, for yourself. This is how you start, and then you can expand into more things. And also, happiness, this is such a thing. I mean, we always think that happiness is something that you can find, but you create happiness. And it can be something really, really small every day. It can be, I don't know, my child brought me flowers yesterday and the day before. And I said, well, I, I usually tell him not to pick the flowers because what for? Yeah, because they're beautiful. They're longer, they last longer outside. But he picked them twice and he brought them and he said, he felt happy and he wanted to share this with me, and I wasn't there. So I said, this is a perfect moment. This is the happiness. So it's small things. Yep.
Yes, wonderful share. And I can add from my experience that what makes me happy is when I find fulfillment when I do something for people, and when I see that my impact could make somebody's lives a bit better, easier, simple or happier. And yeah, so that gave me a lot of happiness when I realized that, oh, actually, one of my goals in life is just to share with people. And if I manage to overcome certain or specific challenges in life, maybe other people who go through similar lives could learn from me, and maybe their journey will be shorter and they will not spend so much time on figuring out some dilemmas or problems they have within their life. So that brings me so much fulfillment.
Yes, I agree. I mean, we as mothers, I think, are continuously in a giving mode anyway. This is like, I feel like even I'm at home and I'm whatever, giving to my child continuously. And if I have a neighbor, I automatically want to give something because I'm in this mode. So and I share things and I bring things because this is me. Yeah, that makes it. I yes, that makes me happy too. If I see the value that I could share with somebody, that brings somebody forward in life, that's amazing. That's amazing. And also, we shall not underestimate the fact that everything we say might affect anybody in our surroundings to a certain degree. Every single word. I did not see it that way until just recently, because I just learned from a guru of mine to pay attention to the language. This is very important, but this is another topic. Yeah.
Yes, I wanted to ask how your inner realization about your being on this planet impacted your life in your career, because you mentioned earlier about that. So what has changed, and what are you going to live your life in a professional way?
Yeah. Well, first of all, when I had my past life regression therapy, one of the advice from my higher consciousness was to change my career path. And higher consciousness is also us. It's like as if I myself, my higher self, all telling me something that I knew already before. And it's just like, and it was just telling me, just do it, just do it. Don't just keep rolling this thought around in your head. Just do it because you're not happy. And so I let go. Straight after this session, maybe a couple of weeks later, I quit my job, and I already had a plan. I wanted to be independent. I wanted to create something that I will be proud of. That I wanted to share my value, and I obviously had to understand what my value is. And this is how I found the six-figure mentors, and I enrolled on the program because I understand completely understand and appreciate the value of a good mentor. Digital world is amazing. It's always like, I feel like so attracted by that, but I knew I couldn't handle this on my own because it's just too big, it's too unknown. And Six Figure Mentors was the best program like ever. Obviously, when I joined, I did not imagine it to be this, you know. When I joined, I thought that will be just a mentoring program where I will go through certain, you know, trainings and I will end up with the perfect website and a perfect online business. And then it turns out to be a whole lot more of amazing, amazing stuff. Nothing went the way I imagined. Really, let's be honest, nothing. But it came out so much better. Like, and this is a proof to me. Just give in, just give trust, and just see what happens. This is a whole miracle. I mean, of course, the intention is very important. You know, when I when I quit my job, just coming back to your question, um, I knew that I was impacted by my spiritual growth. I just could not continue seeing myself in this office and doing this thing. Nothing wrong with the office. Absolutely love the company, but I just felt misplaced. Doesn't make sense. It's just like I felt like my consciousness expanded and I'm still being kind of squeezed into this box of way of thinking and way of doing things. And I felt like I had to get out. I had to get out. I needed something that fitted into my like expanded consciousness. And Six Figure Mentors was exactly the program I needed, because it obviously it is personal growth. It's also, you know, tangible skills that I've learned there, and the community. I mean, alone the fact that we mothers got together and we have this project is so amazing. I mean, the words cannot even express it, because what we create together, yeah, even on subconscious level, is so much more that I could ever hoped for 1 year ago. Yeah. So it's completely, it just went out in a direction where I kind of never dared of dreaming. Does it make sense? I was just thinking, yeah, maybe, but it's happening. It's happening. It's amazing. So this is what it does to you. It liberates you. The spiritual growth, it just liberates you. It's like you are leaving the cage and you go in a free world, and you can do anything with this, anything you want. My only I couldn't say it issue, but sometimes I struggle to be creative. It's just sometimes I struggle to what else to create. You know. But then, you know, I ask for help, and then usually, you know, the answer comes within a couple of hours or so, and then I say, oh, thank you, yeah, that's a good idea. So yeah. How about you? How did it go for you?
Oh, for me, it is a miracle, as you say, because I was always looking for that polar star about my meaning of life. And finally, now I can feel that something what I was dreaming about that will make me happy is now happening, because I have all the tools and space and support and mentorship and friendship, everything, which gives me that chance and opportunity to evolve and manifest myself the healthiest way in this world. And I can see, not in a selfish way, but I can see the impact on people who I interact with within this project and on everything I'm creating on my YouTube channel. And that brings me so much peace of mind and peace in my soul that now, finally, I am on the right path. And it is so big, you know. I think everybody is looking for the similar state, you know, in life, when you you have that freedom to create and do something meaningful, and that brings you a lot of fulfillment and financial support to have a life. I don't think I do that for money or for getting rich, but my goal is to have a meaningful, happy, and fulfilled life. And this way, being a mother, I want to give an example and be a model for my children.
Yes, exactly. I agree. I must be honest, when I joined the program, the Six Figure Mentors program, my intention was the money in the beginning. Yeah. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No.
I just was looking for a replacement for my income, basically. Yeah. I was worried. I was just like, oh my gosh, I need to. But then the intention started changing during the course of the program. Like, I started questioning this focusing on material things too much. I started letting go of those things. I mean, the fact is we all need money, but the question is, how much money do you need and what is more important to you? You know, how you want to be, what is your legacy? Yeah, for your children. Yeah. What is it? Is it, you want to make, like, I don't know, millions and be miserable? Then I can stay in my job. I'm not going to make millions, but I will be miserable there for sure. So no, this is the question. I went through this process and I was just asking myself, what is my legacy? Why I'm doing this? And very similarly to yourself, I want to be a role model for my child, and I want to create and share value. I want to help people like mothers like myself to find their voice, to find their place, yeah, to feel fulfilled, to, to discover their creativity, to live the life, like we deserve it, like we're supposed to be living life on our own terms. And the money is a byproduct of that, but this is no longer a focus. Yeah. And this is what shifted from compared to the beginning of the program to now. And I haven't been with the program for 1 year yet. I mean, so much change in the last 9 months. It really is like synchronicity of all of these things that happening is incredible.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I witnessed that majority of people who are members of the SFM and go through this education, they are experiencing the similar transformation. And it's amazing. It's beautiful. Now we are in quarantine period and all the planet is going through a change. And it could have different interpretation. What do you think our activity can impact women or even men? I don't want to classify everybody. How do you think what we are doing can help people to get maybe confidence or go out from that state of uncertainty? And
yeah. I think what we do as a project, as mothers, being transparent and honest, and talking about different topics that affect us nowadays is extremely important. This is for other women to see what we are also going through. Yeah. Yes, we are going through this, but we are not coming and going through this. We're not coming from the place of fear. Like, we are coming from the place of positivity, an enormous source of creativity, positivity. And this is we are essentially the inspiration for all other moms. And this is what people need right now. Everybody needs that, because the more positive we think about everything in the world, what's happening right now, the better the world will be. If we, I don't want to go into this like a more kind of a less positive scenario, but if we look at the world, and this is an opportunity now for us to say, we as mothers, instead of, let's say, sitting at home and just having all these thoughts on your own, and figuring out things, am I doing the right thing? Is it the right way of thinking? Is this, what shall I do? Why not just joining this, like conversations like that, or just joining our channel and just listen what we say, because you're not alone. We all are going through the same things. But again, we are approaching this from the state of positivity. This is where we are coming from. Yeah. And this is where we let go of all the whatever unnecessary things that might just become a challenge, so you just don't even go there. So, and this is our project. This is what essentially what our mission is. Yeah. We want to share the value. We want to spread out love. We want to help other mothers just like ourselves. Look, we are ordinary mothers, but yet we are not ordinary. We're extraordinary, all of us. Yeah. It's just really kind of, I personally am like this, if I'm in a situation where I feel, oh gosh, I'm just, it's only me who goes through this. No, there are other women just like yourself, and we are figuring things out together. Yeah. There is nothing, there is nothing standard or strict about this. We're figuring out things together. And I think this is where our value is. We are authentic, we're creative, we're positive, we're supportive, we inspire people. And, look, and we can help in a tangible way. We can help. There is a lot of skill that we can share. This is how I see it.
Mm-hmm. What's my view on everything we are doing, and within the SFM platform and DEA platform and mentors.com, which is going to be launched in a couple of days, and the journey with our spiritual awakening. So if you feel that you want to change your life and create that lifestyle which will bring you fulfillment, and you don't know what to do because it sounds so big and far away from you, it is actually, because when, as Natalya said, when we came into this journey, we wanted to replace our income from our full-time job to another income which will bring us more freedom, flexibility, and time for our children and personal life. And at the beginning, it is confusing if you don't know what you want to share with this world, because if you want to get an income, you have to offer something to the people. So this program, SFM, so Six Figure Mentors program, it is so well designed because it is a program which gives you possibility to sell on a commission basis. It is an affiliate system of marketing. And when you start this education, you learn how to build a website, how to do marketing, how to communicate with people. And in parallel to that, you may do marketing and sell that program, which will give you very good commission, because there is so much value in this program, and you can get that belief and trust and confidence that you are not manipulating people and you're not trying to push something to somebody who don't need that. You feel that because this managed to change your life, you can speak openly and share with people, look, that could be a solution for you in this current situation, even now when we are in this crisis and a lot of people lost their jobs, or companies are changing their strategies and they will starting implementing a lot of new technologies. That was always like that. Looking back into the history, companies always were trying to upgrade and how to say that, innovate the way they are doing their business. And we have to adapt as well. So we can't, it is an illusion to expect that we will go back to what it was a month ago. It will not be like that. We have to learn new skills, new digital skills. So if you feel that you are lost but you still want to do something and take responsibility of your personal life, because it is your personal responsibility. Nobody will come and give you money or do something for you. We are responsible for our personal life, government or somebody else. Because when we think about that, we became victims, and we enter into the role of victim, and we think that it's not our deal. Actually, it is our deal. We have to be conscious about that, and it goes to the entrepreneurial mindset already.
Yes, it does pretty much. And maybe I will add something on this from the spiritual point of view. Because the planet has shifted to higher vibrations, this is why lots of people have to catch up with the planet. And this is what's happening right now. Lots of people have to expand their consciousness to be able to get to the higher vibration. This is how creation is forcing us to expand our vibration by changing the economy. You lost your job. It's a perfect opportunity for you to expand your consciousness. Yeah, this is why it's happening for you. So you expand your consciousness and you elevate yourself from this situation to a higher level. Yeah, so this is what it literally means. And if you resist, yeah, and say, no, I want to remain in my safe job, I hope the job is safe. Honestly, I do not wish upon anybody any suffering. What I'm saying is very simply, there is a law of movement. Everything moves and changes and everything expands. You want it or not, but your consciousness will expand, especially because the planet has transitioned already. So you're going to do something. Yeah. And if you find something in this in this very moment, and you say, look, actually it's true, I kind of feel suffocated, by what is happening in my life. I need more freedom. I need start taking my own decisions, creating my own life on my terms. Hey, this is your moment, and this is your moment. And our program that we've been talking about is a very, very good place to be. I'm not saying this is the only program. There are other programs that we don't know. So this is why we don't mention that. What we talk about, what all of us have been through. Yeah. So, and as I said, keep an open mind, because you might start with one intention and it might become something more amazing and bigger, and something that for me, I haven't dreamt about this, honestly. I was just like, I think my creativity wasn't that expanded to this level so that I could imagine these things happening. But honestly, it's just like probably the best, like the absolute best that could have happened to me personally, And as I said, I haven't been with the program, not even for 1 year yet. And the results are amazing. I mean, on a personal level, on my, spiritual level, on everything. Having said that, SFM is not teaching you anything spiritual. Yeah, it's not really their focus, but the personal growth is a big part of the program. Yeah. So, and obviously, a lot of tangible skills, like how to build a website, or, how to create a sales funnel, all those essential things that you will need for any online business. So all of this you will learn there. So if any questions, we're here for you to answer.
Check into the description of the video. You will find the links.
Perfect.
Thank you, Natalya.
Thank you, Veronica. Thank you so much. That
Yeah,
was
I think we
really
have
fun.
to wrap up here. And
Yes.
what will be your final advice to people who are listening to us? Maybe those who are thinking to create the life on their own terms and they are ready to take responsibility.
Yes. I think first of all, I will suggest to be open-minded. Be open-minded, especially these days. Positive, open-minded, have trust, first of all, in yourself, and also in everything that's been happening around you. Try not to fall into the negative mode. Just honestly try your best not even to get near all of this negative thoughts, because they are getting you nowhere. Yeah, honestly. I mean, very often people say, oh, I have to be realistic. What is realistic? What is realistic for you? I mean, for me personally, what helps me really just keep being positive. Surround yourself by people who will support you in this, and we are here for you. I mean, honestly, and this is how we support each other on a daily basis. We are here for each other, and this is, like, honestly, myself, it helps me a lot. Even if I get into little bit in the mood, like, oh, maybe I'm too tired or whatever. We're human beings. This is perfectly fine. You also have to accept it about yourself. But because I'm in an excellent company, I can reach out and share something and discuss it, and then it's gone. It's gone. Don't keep this for yourself. And we are honestly, and even if this is something, if you have any other questions or whatever, we're all mothers. We all have been there. Feel free to reach out. That's all I say. I think the most important thing is just be open-minded. I think there will be a lot more amazing things happening, and this is what we need our open mind for.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to connect with people, because the spiritual growth is happening when in connection. You can't grow spiritually if you are not connected with people, because we mirror each other, and that way we can see what work we have to do with ourselves, and this way we are evolving. Being isolated and living your life in a corner isolated by people, that will not help. That will be an illusion of spiritual growth. But when you connect with people, you can find your true value, and through having these tools and support which you can find in this community, maybe somewhere else, be open-minded, so you can change your life and reach to a place of happiness.
Yes, that's right. Thank you, Veronica. Thank you so much. It's really amazing. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Have a lovely day. Bye.
Bye bye. Have a lovely day.
Wonderful.